Hi folks, welcome to another stall13.com video. How do you really correct bad behavior in a horse? Well, number one, you don't want to do this. You don't want to whip your horse, like, really whip them. You don't want to use a stick. You don't want to use a closed fist and punch them. And you really don't want to slap them across the face. Or there's all kinds of manners. And by the way, everything I just did, I don't care who you are or what your reason is, it's abuse. And it's wrong. And it's always been wrong. There's no reason to do that. Horses are extremely sensitive. Think of them like a small child. They're always playful, they're very curious, and they're always challenging you. They have an amazingly strong herd instinct. And that herd instinct tells them that somebody has to be the boss. And if you don't know how to conduct yourself as the boss over a horse, well then the horse is going to be the boss over you. If a horse could talk like us, they would talk really fast. They're very focused. They cannot multitask. We've talked about that in other videos. And here's what they would say. Okay, do you want to be the boss? If you don't want to be the boss, I'll be the boss. But somebody has to be the boss. Somebody has to be in charge. I don't know who I want to be, but somebody has to be in charge. They talk really fast, and it'd be very infantile. They want you to be in charge. They want to be led. There is a hierarchy in a herd. The herd instinct of a horse, ladies and gentlemen, is right up in there with elephants, dolphins, with a pride of lions. They have an extremely strong-knit family herd instinct. And so they know that there's going to be somebody dominant and somebody submissive. But it doesn't have to be with physical abuse. How do you correct bad behavior in a horse? There are two things that horses do not like to do. And it doesn't hurt, they just feel odd. Excuse me. They feel strange, but there's no pain involved. I made a video that you can look up and understand more about this, and it was talking about how do horses sleep standing up. You may want to look up at that video after you watch this one. There are joints in a horse's body that allow them to lock and sleep standing up. The interesting thing about those joints is they don't prevent, but they kind of get in the way of a horse doing two things that a horse doesn't like to do. Now think about this. When you ask a horse to back up, very rarely, see look, this horse really doesn't want to back straight up. It's resisting, but it'll do it. But if I lead this horse a little forward, and if I allow the horse to turn at an angle, look now, see how it's kind of turning and it's a lot easier to back up? Now, also, the other thing that horses do not like to do because of those joints is this. They do not like to turn really tight circles. Notice how this horse isn't really stepping with its back feet. It's taking these giant kind of clodhopper steps to the side because I'm turning a tight circle. Okay. Because of the joints. No pain, just odd and something they don't want to do. Remember that. Now there's a kid's toy. I don't know if they still make them, but they're called Etch-a-Sketches. They're little plastic boxes. They got two knobs on them. And there's this little line and you can draw pictures and stuff. And then when you're done, you shake them. And it erases the picture. They're called Etch-a-Sketches. I hope everybody's got one. Or think of a chalkboard. You draw something on a chalkboard and then you take an eraser and you erase it. This is what we're talking about, bad behavior, how to correct things in your horse. When your horse does something that you don't like, you have 3 seconds. 3 seconds to correct that behavior. Because if you don't correct it in 3 seconds, the horse is completely gone. They've moved past it. The way their thought patterns work is completely different than a human being. If you were to get in trouble, someone might say, you're in trouble and tomorrow we're going to talk about this. Or when you were a child, someone might say, you did something wrong, you're in trouble, wait till your parents find out about this tonight. You would know that hours would go by and you wouldn't get in trouble. Horses don't have that ability. Their mind doesn't work like that. You have 3 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003. If you get kicked, if you get struck, if you get bit, if you get bucked off, if this horse does something you don't like and you don't take care of it in 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, if you don't react that fast, forget about it, because so has the horse. So if you get kicked, bit, or stepped on, or the horse doesn't do what you want it to do, and you think it's bad behavior and you don't want the horse to continue to do that, and you wait a minute or two to collect yourself, see if a bone is broke from a kick, see if you're bleeding from a bite, or maybe the horse did something wrong, and all of a sudden 2 or 3 minutes go by or 5 minutes go by, and the horse is just standing here like this, and you come over and you yell at this horse and you say no, and you beat on it and you admonish the horse. You know what the horse is thinking? The horse is thinking that it's being punished and you're being violent because it's just standing here. Think about that. That's the way their mind works. Very quickly, very focused. They can't multitask. So if you can't fix a problem 1001, 1002, 1003, well, you've missed the boat. Okay, so a horse does something you don't like. You can turn a circle instantly, just like this. You can just do it once, and then you can say no. Make a horse back up. Back, back, back. Even if it's just a step. Back. Even one step. That's all it takes. Also, the way you can correct a horse's behavior, control the head, control the entire body of this horse. This is a computer. Everything is dictated here. Don't worry about what that body's doing. Worry about what this mind is doing and where this head is. Every time she moves her head, I just put it right back there. I don't allow her to do anything. I am completely in control of this horse without violence of any manner, just making her stay right here. I have exerted my dominance. I've shown her her submissiveness. The other thing, if you have a horse that bites, just give him a little melon thump on the nose. That'll work. No, you got 3 seconds to do it. Place of head. This is the essence of training a horse. You can do so much more with a horse as far as training in bad behavior if you spend 5 to 10 minutes a day, even 20 minutes a day, than you can once a week for 3 hours. It's consistency. Horses learn by habit. And by the way, I want to leave you with this thought. If a horse isn't learning a good habit, I promise you they're learning bad habits. This has been another stall13.com video. Take care of yourselves and take care of your horses.